Southwest Dairy Farmers, and Southwest Dairy Farmers is a dairy education and promotional company. So we actually represent about 500 different dairy farmers and their families throughout 9 states. And what we do for those dairy farmers is we travel throughout their communities, throughout their states, to schools and fairs and trade shows to teach people exactly what they do on the farm on a daily basis to get delicious dairy products right to your table. So the first thing that I like to mention also is I run what's called the Mobile Dairy Classroom. It is a classroom equipped with a live cow. And we bring it to schools for free. Yes, you heard that correctly, for free. So if you would like some information for your kiddos, your grandkiddos' school, or a teacher that you might know, I do have some brochures under my tent that I would be happy to give you before you head out. Okay? So our first thing we like to talk about is milk and the nutritional aspect of milk and how it's part of a healthy, balanced diet. We recommend people to get 3 to 4 servings of dairy a day because milk helps things like our muscles, bones, eyesight, hair, skin, fingernails, and even our energy levels. So there's lots of great reasons why we should add dairy into our everyday diet, and those are just a few. Now, getting 3 to 4 servings is pretty easy. All you have to do is add a little dairy with every meal, and that can be as simple as milk on your cereal or in your coffee. It could also be things like cheeses, yogurts, flavored milks, cottage cheese, or that favorite ice cream every once in a while. So if you're looking for a recommendation on the fairgrounds, I do recommend you go to the dairy bar under the grandstand. They have the best ice cream on the grounds. Okay. Now, this picture is really important, and I like to show this to people who do the grocery shopping because we all look at labels and we like to know what's in our food. This is actually the only ingredients in milk, and the only one that's missing on there is water. So milk only contains 9 essential vitamins and nutrients in water, and each one of these are naturally produced by the cow except for one. We do fortify milk with vitamin D because some of that gets lost or destroyed during the pasteurization process. And in order for our body to absorb the calcium, we need that vitamin D. So milk is a very natural process. It's not highly fortified or processed, and so that's what makes it so good for you. So things like vitamin B12, riboflavin, niacin, potassium, phosphorus, all these good things you can name, and most people know what they do for our bodies. So the cow that we have in the barn today is Valina. Can y'all say hello, Valina? Valina is a dairy cow. She is a specific breed called the Chick-fil-A cow. Right? You guys probably know it as a Chick-fil-A cow. I know it as the Holstein. The Holstein is our most popular breed. She is the largest in size. She typically makes the most milk, averaging anywhere from 8 to 12 gallons of milk a day. About 95% of our dairy cows in the U.S. will be the black and white Holsteins just based off of their milk production. Our second most popular cow would be the little cute brown cows called the Jerseys. They make much more richer milk, but they only average between 6 and 8 gallons a day. So in order for these cows to make milk, they have to do several very important jobs, and the most important job she has to do is have a baby calf. A lot of people think that because they're called dairy cows, they just magically wake up on a Saturday and decide to make milk. That is not the case. They have to give birth to a baby just like any mammal would, and that's what starts that process. Our cows are typically mature enough to have their first calf at the age of 2, and then they will have a baby on a year to year and a half basis to maintain their milk supply. This cow is actually 3 years old, and so she would be considered to be about 36 years old in human years. Okay, so 1 cow year equals about 12 human years. Once their baby is born, the great thing about these mamas is they make a lot of milk, but their babies don't need to drink 6 to 12 gallons a day. They only need about 2 to 3. So we don't want the babies to overeat, and that's why they hang out in a place called calf daycare on the farm. Now, a lot of people also don't realize that these cows have jobs to do to pay their bills much like we do. How many of you have a grocery bill? Anybody pay rent or mortgage? What about electricity? Yeah, these cows are not the exception. They also have a bill to pay. Grocery bills, rent bills, electricity bills. The way they pay that bill is by making milk, okay? So while they go to work, their babies can't just be left at home by themselves. They go to daycare. And in calf daycare, they're going to be taken care of by our farmers. They're going to get milk from their mother twice a day. They're going to get grain water, their very own calf condo to live in. This keeps them safe. We keep them by themselves for the first 3 months until they build that immune system up. About 4 months of age, they're weaned from milk, and they're going to be moved into cow kindergarten with some friends. And at this point, they're going to start eating food similar to what our adult cows eat. Now, our dairy cows are like athletes. They're fed a very specific diet formulated by nutritionists. Their nutritionist that we hire comes to the farm, we test their milk, and it can tell us exactly what amounts of protein, fiber, and fat they need to do their job. These cows eat a mixture of grass, hay, corn silage, oats, cottonseed, and they can even eat things we like to eat, like chocolate bars, potato chips, and even Skittles. If a dairy farmer lives near a chocolate factory, they can actually buy the leftovers and feed them to their cows. In fact, a couple of dairies outside of Hutchinson get leftovers from the Tortilla King factory and also the Russell Stover's chocolate factory in Salina. So that can be a great way we can utilize some food that would otherwise be thrown away. Now, make no mistake, if she eats chocolate, she's unfortunately not going to make the chocolate milk, but she does like the taste of that in her diet, just like we do. On average, our cows eat about 100 pounds of food a day. They also drink about a bathtub full of water every day, which gives them enough nutrients to be able to do their job. But one thing you will notice, our dairy cows do stay very skinny. You can see their hip bones, ribs, and backbone. A lot of people ask us about this. Now, just like some people you can see their bones, and some people you can't, it's the same with dairy cows. Dairy cows are like sleek marathon runners. They use a lot of energy to make milk. Everything they eat goes into that energy, so they don't store extra food or extra fat on their body. Now, a beef cow does things a little differently. She likes to make more weight, more fat to make meat, and so that's why they carry an extra fat cover. Okay, so this is your Victoria's Secret model runway, okay? And our beef cows are a little bit different. They tend to have a little more flesh. I can relate to that, right? Yeah. Okay, so our dairy cows eat, even though they eat a lot of food and drink a lot of water, they stay thin because they're working hard to make that milk. All right, so places where dairy cows eat. Some cows live on pasture. They graze the grass. But just like you and I go home to a home every day, they also like to do that. And their home is a barn. This barn is like an all-inclusive beach resort vacation. We have fresh sand beds that they lay on daily. We have automatic back massagers that they can use whenever they would like. This is an automatic brush. When they bump into it, it spins all over their body. They can position themselves where they like best. This helps keep them clean and it helps their shedding process as well. We even have 24-hour cow buffets. They can go eat their food, drink their water, as well as fans, shades, and sprinklers in the hot months, and windbreaks and extra bedding in the cold months. So these cows like to be kept comfortable during our seasons. Otherwise, they don't want to spend their energy making milk, and so we try to do an excellent job giving them everything they need to be comfortable. All right, so we'll check out some milk parlors, and we'll go ahead and milk this cow. On our large farms today, we use what's called a rotary parlor, which is exactly what it sounds like, a merry-go-round or a carousel. It actually holds 72 cows at one time, and they rotate in a circular motion while getting milked. It takes them about 10 minutes to go from start to finish. And this dairy farmer lives and works in Kansas. He milks 10,000 cows a day. He has 2 of these rotary parlors that run 24 hours a day. So that's the way he gets all of his cows milked. Now, the cows only spend about 40 minutes a day here, so about 20 minutes their first milking, and then 12 hours later, about 20 minutes again. Okay? Another really cool way we can milk cows using technology is a robot. Now, these are becoming more popular. It's an automatic stall the cow enters into voluntarily, and a robotic arm cleans and milks the cow for us. Pretty awesome because we can spend our time doing other things, but it's even greater because the cow comes voluntarily. So she comes whenever she wants. She can come 4 times a day, she can come 1 time a day. Whenever she feels the need to be milked, she takes the trip to the robot. Now this robot uses laser sensors to find the cow, clean the cow, milk the cow. And it tells us through an email what the cow did that day when she visited, and even things like her body temperature. We actually have several dairies in Kansas that use robots, so that's a great way using technology that we can milk our cows. Most common, you will see a barn like this where the cows come in and stand in a line twice a day. Now, no matter if we have a traditional parlor, a robot, or a carousel, one thing stays the same, and that's cleanliness. We do have health inspectors that come to our barn regularly, and they inspect to make sure that we're keeping everything clean and running properly. So before and after each milking, we do sanitize the inside and outside of our equipment to make sure it's clean. That way the milk stays nice and clean. Next thing we're going to need to clean is our cow. So just like we wash our hands with soap and water before we eat, we're going to wash her before she makes milk. Where she makes and stores her milk is her udder. She has 1 udder and 4 quarters. Each quarter contains milk. So you're seeing him dip the udder with an iodine soap solution. This is the same type of soap your doctors and hospitals like to use. It does a great job killing germs, sanitizing, and that's why we use it on the farm. Next, we're going to take a clean paper towel and wipe the extra soap off. This not only gets her clean and dry, but it also signals to her brain that she's getting ready to be milked, which will cause her milk letdown. Now, a lot of people don't realize if a cow is scared, nervous, sick, or uncomfortable, she can withhold her milk from us. There's absolutely nothing we can do to make her give it to us. We can hook up that machine, and if she's uncomfortable, nothing will come out. So we need to make sure she's calm and relaxed and she's clean so she can do her job. Now, we do not milk cows by hand anymore for a couple different reasons. Number one, it takes a long time. And number two, it's not the cleanest way to do things. We don't want to touch milk with our hands or expose it to any outside air, dirt, or germs. So we are required by law to use this machine just due to cleanliness factor. Plus, the cow prefers this machine over our hands because it is more consistent. So we're going to go ahead and hook up the claw to Melina and watch her make a little milk. This machine uses pulsation and vacuum pressure to gently draw the milk from the cow, sending it into our glass jar. Oh, look at that. There we go. Now, the milk going into that jar is not chocolate. It's nice and white. We don't color our milk. It comes beautifully white from the cow. Also, it's coming very clean because we're using our machine. Now, one thing I want you to notice is Melina. Does she look like she's in pain? No. What would she do if that machine hurt her? She would kick it off. She can kick that machine off with her foot whenever she would like. She also could kick our teeth out when we put it on too. But our cows are very comfortable, calm, and relaxed being milked because it relieves them of pounds of weight and pressure they don't want to carry around. That milk leaving her body is over 100 degrees as well. So on a hot day, they don't want to carry anything that adds heat to their body. And so, due to that heat, we will send the milk directly to cooling tanks. The cooling tanks cool it to 36 degrees, filter it, and stir it. If the milk truck driver comes to our barn and our milk is 40 degrees, they won't pick it up. It has to be 36, 37 degrees to be transported. So from there, we're going to filter, stir, and cool the milk. A truck picks it up daily and takes it to a processing plant. Here, we're going to inspect every load of milk. Every farm gets 2 samples of milk taken. They test those 2 samples through 18 different tests for things like water levels, bacteria levels, and antibiotics. No milk on your shelf will ever have antibiotics in it. It is illegal, okay? So if you see a label that says antibiotic-free, it's all antibiotic-free, okay? We have to pass those tests in order to sell milk. Once we do, it will be pasteurized, which is heating it to kill germs. Lastly, we homogenize it, which is stirring it up so the cream doesn't separate and rise to the top. Then we can add flavorings like chocolate or strawberry, or we can make delicious products like cheese, yogurt, butter, cottage cheese, sour cream, ice cream, all of our good stuff. If you would give Melina a nice round of applause, she did a great job for us today. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask me. I'm a much more reliable source than Google because I've milked the cow before. I'd be happy to answer those questions. We have some free bags and stuff under our tent if you would like to grab those before you head on out. Thank you for joining us.